after that performance?
I think they were up and down. I think you try and chase some things to improve on as a team, and we thought our centre bounce work for the last few weeks was really poor, and today we won by 5. We asked for front half turnovers. Last week we had 11, we had 24 and beat the Saints by 4. We wanted to get over 80 tackles, we had 86, 14 in our forward 50, which is, that's really high numbers for us. So you just look at the game and you think there's some things to really like about what we did, and the effort, and our spirit is great. They're trying so hard, and some of the individuals tried to lift us, but even Larky to just virtually stay on one leg out there and kick 2 or 3, which is a credit to him. But by the end of the game, we lost contested ball -10 in the last quarter, and we didn't get organised behind the footy, and it really hurt us. Marshall was just running forward, swapping with Jones, and we didn't have players picking him up, or the right size players. So that was quite frustrating. It took us so long to get organised with that and how to do it. So another learning curve for us and another frustrating afternoon. But when we play with that spirit and the way we attack the ball and attack the man, we can build from that, and hopefully we can take that next step. It's sort of like we're just falling short to this victory, and when we get 1, do we get 2 and 3? That's the bit that we don't know. It feels like a maiden horse at the moment. You keep going the races and you can't win, but when you win 1, you might win 2, 3 and 4. So we just can't get it done as a team, and that's the hard part that we're finding as a group.
Do you feel like that's playing a role? Like as these wins build up, everyone knows 15, now 16. It sort of gets in the players' heads a little bit when the moment arrives.
I think so. The big thing for us is trying to keep putting ourselves into these close. We've had a few close moments, since I've been coaching. We had the Swans one, we had the Essendon one. We've had today, and we've been in games on others where just making the right decision and that. And I think just keep practicing these defining moments. And the game was a bit like that, wasn't it? It was ping, mistake, turnover, and who capitalised? We couldn't capitalise in the last quarter, really. Our ball movement stifled. We made a few errors, or they did well to defend it, and we couldn't make the most of it. So that was sort of the game anyway. That we sat in the box in the third quarter and saying, if the game keeps playing like this, how do you want to play? How do you want to go about it? And it's sort of like, maybe hold your breath, because that was the type of game it was going to be. Who could maximise, the possession and use it accordingly.
Sam Mitchell yesterday said that because the stage of his team's development, he doesn't really train close game scenarios to the end. Do you do that with your young group too, like in that situation?
Yeah, we did a bit through pre-season. Yeah. We did a bit early, but then the games were going away and there was other things to work on. Yeah. So, your time during the week is limited to some degree, but I think the closer we put ourselves there, the opportunity to rehearse it and that. So we probably had to get some other things right before we worry about the close games. We had to address some other things in our game.
Brett, about yourself, Brett. I mean, I know you don't want to make it about yourself and it's about the team and you would love to win today, but now that the match is over, what are the emotions this week been like coming up against St Kilda and probably all the memories of what went down coming back?
Oh, really, it's more about the process for the club. I think for us, it was about getting another opportunity to respond to what we did against Hawthorn, and it was St Kilda, whether it was Melbourne, whoever. It didn't matter who the team was. I was pretty disappointed in last week, and that was the one that I thought, geez, we just didn't turn up or didn't show enough fight, which was against the trend that we'd had. So, to see the response, that's the pleasing part. So, I was just really hell-bent on trying to get us back to that space where we put ourselves in the game and give ourselves an opportunity, and I thought we did that really well.
So there was no part of you that was sort of like, gee, it would have been nice to get that win, I suppose?
Oh no, there's probably 100% of me that would have said, let's get that win.
But
whether it was St Kilda or any team, you keep coaching, you don't get a win. You just want the next one to be a win. So whether it's against your old team or the next opponent, that's irrelevant, really. Yeah.
What do you think of Luke's game?
Oh, it's easy. He was best on today by a bit. He was outstanding. He virtually tried to carry us across the line. the part is we've had some players in our group that have missed chunks of footy too, like LDU's missed 6 weeks, Goda's missed 6 weeks, X has missed a big chunk of the season with rehab with his broken leg. Core today played really well. I thought he played a really good game, but he didn't do a pre-season. Tucker didn't do a pre-season. So we've had players that have missed big chunks of, part of the season or part of the pre-season. And I think that doesn't allow you to have continuity in your group. And, we've used 41 players this year, the most of any club. So when you don't get continuity, it's hard to get systems and things in place. And for us to see some of those blokes now that had missed a bit, starting to get a bit of form and play to the level that we know that they can play, that's the pleasing part.
You mentioned Aiden Core, back in the day when you were title going around, that bump in the late on Hill, you'd call textbook. Right? Do you have any concerns about what the match review panel might come up with out of that?
I haven't seen the replay of it, and it looked fair from the eye, from the coach's box. But if the player's fair and the bump, and as long as he hasn't hit him in the head, I think it'll be right, and I hope Bradley's fine. But if we all know if the player hits in the head, they've got a responsibility there. So that's up to them to make that judgment.
Well, last week you said that to improve, the players they can't hide away. They're going to have to attack the issues head on, and today looked like a really good step in that direction of what you wanted. Are you hopeful that the last 5 weeks they can sort of keep going down that direction?
Yeah, I think we have to be brave to try and improve, and when players have got maybe some fear of things in their game, and actually be open to making a failure along the way and accept it. Like to watch Goda in the first part of the game take marks and try and run and rebound, he might have had a mistake, but if we keep backing that behaviour in and seeing that more regularly, we're going to see an AFL player. Jacko Archer's, his ability to fight and that mark at the end, it just typifies his ability to be in the game, and to get involved with ball movement a bit more. That's one thing we're working on. So for Arch to sort of say, do what you do here, mate, but can you just be a part of the offence a little bit more and get a bit? And if you have a failure here and there, we'll just keep improving it. So I think we've got to be up for making it blue to improve, and I think that's sometimes as a team that hasn't won, you can actually go into your shell and say, I won't make an error, but that doesn't help the team move the ball or defend in a manner that they should. And Will Phillips today was a perfect example. We spoke to Will about if you get 27 possessions at AFL level and you only get a couple of tackles, well, we're looking at saying that's good, you got 27, how can you help us? Or if you get 17 possessions and you still only have 2 tackles, it's not helping us a lot. Well, today he had 20 possessions at 11. So if you're not getting a heap of the ball, what are you doing on the other side? And that was a part of his game that he was lacking. And to see that today, you walk away and go, that's balanced. When you have your good day out, when you win a bit, you might have a few less tackles. But if you're not getting a heap of the ball, what are you doing to help us? And today you walk away and say, now he's starting to get the balance of AFL. You're not going to win the ball all the time, but you can do something else. And I think we've got to keep working with our players to understand that at times they're going to make a few errors or not get it right, but how can they contribute the other way?
You mentioned Larkin being on one leg at the end. What's up with him?
Just got a sprained ankle. I think he should be right. It wasn't not perfect that he had to stay out there maybe, but he'll be fine for next week.
Someone we haven't spoken about yet, Ben Mackay. He's obviously got a big decision to make in the weeks ahead, but does a performance like today remind everyone just how valuable he can be for this football club in the long term if he does stick?
Yeah, I think we know Ben's talent at marking ball and intercepting and playing on the tools, so he's a valuable member of our team. Like every player that's got to make these decisions about contracts and that, he'll have to sit with his manager and the club and work through it. They're big decisions, they're life decisions, and they're not easy ones. So we'll give him his space and time and let him work through it, and he can talk to the footy club about that decision, but I'm not sure when he's going to make it.
Is there a bit of a pep in the step of the players as well with, obviously the announcement there's a Tamala Clark who's going to come back. Is that sort of lifted the spirits of the group as well a bit in the lead up to that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it helps, knowing the coach is coming back and all that. That'll help the group for sure. That'll give them a lift.
And Liam Shields, what was the issue there?
He's got a calf. We're not sure. So we'll get a scan on that. He'd probably be unlikely, I'd say. He's a tough bugger, so for him to come off, I'm tipping, with the game sort of in the balance like that, I'm tipping he's probably done something there.
Brett, any concern with the presentation of the ground pre-match? It looks like the roof had been left open. It was quite wet underfoot to start with. No issue?
I didn't go out pre-game except for the pre-game chat with Sarah Jones and Jordan Lewis, so I didn't really put my foot out there and look at it. So, I can't comment on that.